My name is Tong Name. I used to be Shunjin's top model 3 years ago, but now I'm semi-retired. Late at night, in a villa where I live, the lights are bright and lively. A banquet is being held. At the moment, I was already drunk and sleeping unconscious on the bed. I was really happy today. I am so happy today, because tomorrow is the wedding day of my beloved, and I have been looking forward to for a long time. I am so happy. Suddenly a man came into the room and whispered my name. He was my fiancé. We have been in love for many years, and now he is the president of Sky Arts Entertainment named Han Yufan, and I am signed in his company. Han Yufan was looking at me, not knowing what he was thinking, probably imagining the scene of our wedding tomorrow. Suddenly a delicate hand reached out to Han Yufan's chest, constantly stroking up and down. Very provocative. Han Yufan was slightly stunned and looked back. It turned out to be the first model of TNE Entertainment, Mo Euro. At this time, Han Yufan's gaze is very gentle, even more than looking at my gaze more hot. Han Yufan easily said to Mo Euro, "Euro, don't mess around. I just fell asleep. Don't let her find out." Only to hear Mo Euro very provocative said, "Tomorrow you will be married. Tonight you do not want to spend the night with me." What's even worse is that Mer actually wanted to do it in front of me. She said that's the only way to make it exciting. Before Han Yufan could react, Mo Euro ripped off his clothes and kissed him. In this way, that blatantly in front of my face. A series of ambiguous. I gradually came to my senses during the confusion, and in a trance, I heard Han Yufan approaching me, but only to use me. I tugged hard on the bed sheet. Instantly all the good things we experienced between us, instantly all broken. On the other hand, Mo Euro's heart also played a small plan. He will never let Han Yufan and I get married, because Mo Euro is pregnant with Han Yufan. Because Mo Euro is pregnant with Han Yufan's child. Everything in TNE Entertainment, including Han Yufan, belongs to her. Listening to the sound of the two of them leaving, I couldn't believe that the man who made me give up everything was just using me. Thinking of Mo Euro's appearance, I was very remorseful. I actually did not realize that she was such a snake. I do not dare to open my eyes. I cannot believe that all this is true. I can only let the tears left behind. This is the bathroom of the two. Only to hear Mo Euro said, "My stomach hurts." Scared Han Yufan rushed to take her to the hospital. At this time, I am a little confused. Why do this to me? Where I actually do wrong? Where I am not good? Thinking of the past, I really regret that I did not see earlier the true face of this stone. I really hope that this is a dream. A pity that I have been so many years to pay, but really to Mo Euro to do the trousseau. The next day, I still came to the Civil Affairs Bureau, but late to see Han Yufan. Sure enough, Euro successfully stalled him. Han Yufan told me Euro was injured. I first took her to the hospital. Registration for another day. I hung up the phone. The last glimmer of hope in my heart is also broken. Really this come. I am determined to take revenge. Han Yufan and Mo Euro owes me. I will one by one to get back. To get back their own lost everything. Just as I was about to leave, a man who passed by attracted my attention. At that moment, I had a feeling that I had seen this man somewhere before, but suddenly I couldn't remember. I was shocked. It was actually Mo Ting, the CEO of Highway Entertainment. He actually appeared in front of the Civil Affairs Bureau. Just as I was wondering, I heard Mo Ting's conversation with an aide, and it turned out that Mo Ting's fiancé hadn't come today either, and it is said that the chairman of the board of directors commanded that Mo Ting must be married today. Married to a human demon or not opposed. Mo Ting also summoned Ord, said to the maid, "I give you half an hour," and then from the celebrities and the randomly selected one over. I was a little stunned. We are considered the same disease. No, people are just dealing with the elders. Do not care who they marry. I immediately had an idea. Since he doesn't care who he marries, then if that's the case, then I'll go to Mo. I took a few steps and came to Mo Ting and said, "Your bride is not yet arrived. My groom has run away. Let's spell out a marriage." Looking at this bold woman in front of him and her interesting ideas, Mo Ting took off his sunglasses with interest and looked at her. Mo Ting, very playful, said, "What is the spelling of marriage?" But also quite interesting statement. I also have some slight embarrassment at this time. Indeed, I am a little too ridiculous. I cannot believe it. However, since I have already said so, fortunately I gritted my teeth and directly took out the account book. Mo Ting simply stunned this bold woman. Not to mention the spelling of marriage, actually even took out the account book. Mo Ting looked at the account book. I handed over some slightly dumbfounded, as if he did not know whether to take it. He only heard Mo Ting turned his head towards the maid and said, "Give me all her information immediately." In just a few breaths, the maid actually investigated all of my information. I simply can't believe that there is actually this kind of operation. Besides, this speed is also too fast, right? Mo Ting looked at the information in his hand, seemed very satisfied. The corner of his mouth slightly curled up and calmly agreed to it. Although the process is a bit hasty, but I can't meet Mo Ting. It is the biggest luck in my unfortunate life, right? I reckon that people like him don't need love, and even less care to use a woman to get something. I look cold. Han Yufan and Mo Euro, I will definitely make you regret what you have done. I have to say that nowadays things are really fast. Just a few moments. Mo Ting and I took the marriage certificate out. After Mo Ting and I got the marriage certificate, I asked him not to disclose our relationship for the time being, so as not to cause any trouble, and also cannot interface with my personal affairs. After all, I still have some unfinished business to do. Mo Ting promised to give me half a year to resolve my messy past and his trial marriage, but he also put forward a condition. That is, let me move over to live with him and within 3 days. Listening to Mo Ting's request, I only hesitated for a moment before agreeing. After all, we are already married. Mo Ting's mouth was slightly raised at this time, looking very happy, and even began to look forward to it in his heart. Looking at the back of my departure, Mo Ting is very curious about what surprises this bold woman will give him in the future. At this time, the maid asked the president back to the company, or to go back to the old house, to tell the chairman of the board of directors. Mo Ting faintly smiled and instructed the maid, "You drive after me. Keep me informed of her whereabouts." After the conversation, I got into a taxi home. The mood is a little trance. I actually got married just like that. At this moment, the phone in my bag vibrated incessantly. Without looking, I knew it must be that scum. I picked up the phone in a cold tone, faintly asked Han Yufan, "What's the matter?" And Han Yufan, this scum, actually asked me to go to the show for that mistress, and said that he would register with me some other day, and that scum told me to give Mo Euro a good push, saying it was for our future. But I'm no longer the same stupid Swede that I was before. I've already seen through their faces. A plan for revenge was born in my heart. I decided to make good use of this show. I was going to call my agent, Sister Long, and tell her that I will walk for Mo Euro. Let Sister Long help to collect. Mo Euro inserted as a third-party evidence. An exposure of scum used themselves for Mo Euro show evidence. On the other hand, Mo Ting's assistant has been following me and keeping Mo Ting informed. When he learned that I was going to participate in the show, Mo Ting hurriedly asked people to arrange for him to go to the scene to watch. After I finished my makeup in the dressing room, my face was exquisite, my figure was graceful, and my whole body radiated a powerful charm. I swore in my heart, Mo Euro's position as a famous model. If I could give it to you back then, I can get it back now. Now it's my turn to go on stage. I put on the mask without any haste, and a cold smile appeared on the corner of my mouth. As expected of the first model, the audience cheered and sighed in admiration as they watched me in front of them. At this moment, some of the audience were puzzled. Didn't they say that the grand finale was the crown star? Why didn't they see that thing? I put today's grand finale exhibit on my ankles, because this pair of long legs is not Mo Euro. Is the biggest difference between myself and Mo Euro? At least my legs have been rated as one of the most beautiful in the world. Use it for you on the hot search. Mo Euro does not lose out. I was all dressed up with exhibits on my feet and started the show with my long legs. I was deliberately trying to get everyone's attention, and sure enough, I succeeded. Just as the host was about to announce the successful conclusion of the event, a questioning sound came from the stage, only to hear the audience shouted, "No, she is not Mo Euro at all. I have seen Mo Euro herself. Mo Euro does not have such long legs." The host had no choice but to ask me to take off my mask so that I could identify myself and give the audience an explanation. At this time, my face was full of tangled, white face also slipped down the beads of sweat. Looks very nervous. I pretended to be embarrassed and sighed slightly, but in fact my heart was very happy, very happy. As I slowly took off my mask, the audience on the stage burst into a gasp of surprise and questioned me. She is not me. I heard that she is not blocked it. She will not be intentional hype it. Is it want to make a comeback? Reporters have come forward to interview. Miss Tang Khan, explain what is going on. Why you will appear here? The jewelry show obviously invited Mo Euro to appear, but why did you replace her in the end? Please explain. It's common knowledge that you've already been blocked 3 years ago. Are you trying to use this show to go back to modeling again? Even though Euro's diehard fans went up to cause trouble, pushing me to stagger and almost fall down, which immediately scared me. On the other hand, the jewelry company also said they didn't buy it because they wanted Mo Euro, the top model of TIE Entertainment, not such an outdated model. Although I had already expected such a scene, my heart was still inexplicably aggrieved. The jewelry company executives went on to say, "Wait for the court. Get out of here. You don't deserve to stand on my stage." Listening to his words, I was a little angry, but the thought of their own plans, no way or point to enter down. Suddenly, Motin's voice came from the distance. "Yes, someone should roll, but not him. But you roll." I was confused. How can this be? Motin, how can he appear here? Many reporters on the stage are dumbfounded. In front of this is the High Rue Entertainment's cold and domineering president. Usually has always been cold and meddlesome, is never a little bit of lace news. Today how suddenly on the change of nature. I looked at this handsome tall man in front of me, although married, but we only met once. I didn't expect him to be so protective of himself. My heart was filled with admiration and gratitude. Seeing Motin defending this model so well, the jewelry company executives hurriedly apologized, saying that they didn't know about the relationship between the two of them. But Motin didn't appreciate it and told him that it didn't know me. He just didn't think highly of his character. The host was dumbfounded by this statement and even wondered if Motin had taken the wrong medicine today. Motin then walked towards the stage and announced to everyone that I would be a rising star in the modeling industry. As I watched Motin leave, I felt a warm current in my heart. He actually had so much confidence in me. The event had a hiccup. I hurriedly packed up my things and was ready to go home. What I didn't expect was to see Motin's car parked across the street, waiting for me. In fact, after the event, Motin had already waited for a long time. He wanted to pick up his beautiful wife and go home. I was a bit speechless. This new husband of mine is really unexpectedly protective. Sitting in the car, I hurriedly expressed my thanks to Motin, very grateful for his outing today, only to see Motin slightly smile. I seem to be the kind of people who can tolerate others to bully my new wife. Motin's words made my heart warm, but suddenly there was some embarrassment and guilt. I whispered to him, "In fact, today's everything is their own arrangements." Who expected Motin already know, but the reason why he chose to go out is that he did not want to go out. But the reason why he chose to go out is that he did not want to see his wife, to do 1,000 injuries to the enemy, self-loss of 800 fools. Listening to Motin's words, I was even more embarrassed. He actually know and actually mocked me as a fool. At this time, Motin turned his head and asked me lightly, "Where do you want to go?" "I will send you there." I am a little confused. Now this situation where I should go good. If I go home, I'm afraid that a moment will be someone to find the door. Suddenly I had an idea. To Motin, extremely shy, said, "We go back to our own home." Motin obviously did not expect my answer. The whole dumbfounded, "Cannot believe it," asked, "What you say?" Looking at Motin, I whispered, "We are not married, of course. Together home. And today is still the wedding night, I smiled faintly. I have thought clearly, and I am ready to be a Mistress Mo. Because it was too late to prepare at home, Motin had his assistant temporarily prepare a suite in this hotel. Motin asked me with a serious face, "I'm going to take a shower first, to give you time to think clearly. If you still have scruples, there is no rush in a moment." I looked at Motin with a blushing face. This man obviously looks overbearing, but yet so considerate. It didn't take long for Motin to finish washing, and he directly appeared in front of me naked. Before I could react, he had already hugged me in his arms, and at this moment my mind went blank. Just now, Motin fondly embraced me. How to think about it? At this time my brain has not reacted. Afterwards, Motin obediently lay on the bed. Once become my person, there is no longer a chance to struggle. At this time, my shoulder strap quietly slipped down. I looked at Motin, shyly said, "I think very clearly." Motin looked at me full of desire. I don't know what he was thinking inside. Was he waiting for me to take the initiative? At this time, Motin wrapped his arms around my neck, directly kissed up. I think this kiss is so gentle. Gentle call people's heartbeat. At this time, I was simply nervous. Only met during the day. The night will be the way night will. But what I didn't expect was that the next second I was pressed by Motin underneath me, in an extremely awkward position. Motin said to me, "It's too late for you to regret now, or you won't be able to regret it later." Looked at me, did not speak. Motin extremely gentle pulled open my shoulder strap. That moment of spring is full of, accompanied by the pain of caring. I cannot stop trembling. The original first time really so painful. Motin only suddenly realized that it was not right. Damn her, even the first time. The information is not that she has been dating her boyfriend for 5 years. Suddenly I slightly stunned, because actually does not hurt, and Motin seems to no longer continue. Only to see Motin quickly get up, put on the pajamas, face gloomy terrible, said to next time, "Right, I was puzzled. This is exactly how it is. I carefully asked to where I let you not satisfied. Motin is also very patient. Not your problem. Why don't you tell me? I almost hurt you. I was a bit at a loss for words. The point is that this kind of words, how can I say it? Besides, you'll always know. Motin gently picked me up. No matter what, you just need to remember one thing. From now on, you're a Mistress Mo. Now let's go to the bathroom. Let me see if you are hurt. At this time, Motin is very gentle. I looked blankly at Motin and said, "You are not the same as the rumors." Motin gently put me into the bathroom. Motin asked what you thought I was like before. I think it should be the emperor, who dominates the life and death of a person, killing and decisive without humanity. After hearing this, Motin slowly approached my ear. That is to others, but to my wife, I am willing to face with my most real side. At this time, Moyuro sighed. The two also saw yesterday's news that I retaliated against them. An immediately fast gas explosion. At this time, they are thinking of dumping the pot. Let me take full responsibility, so that both can protect Moyuro, can also save the company's reputation. Moyuro said angrily. Tanin is deliberately trying to make others recognize her. She knows that the difference between me and her is those legs. And Yufan was a bit confused, mainly because it wasn't the first time I walked from Moyuro. He didn't believe I did it on purpose. Then Moyuro flirtatiously Saturday on the man's lap. Anyway, you and she are going to get married, and she will not stay in the circle in the future. For the sake of the company, you must immediately make a statement and say that you don't even know about this. It's Tanin who wants to hype herself. That scum. Was Moyuro fascinated by the soul? Simply did not even think about it. Agreed. It seems that now can only be so. The two began to linger in the office. Afterwards, the two began in the office again. See the two skilled look, a look usually not less cheating. At this time, the scum received a bad news. My agent in the internet broke the news, and is now hanging in the entertainment headlines inside the magnificent Villa Manor. I just finished the bath, was about to blow the hair. A big hand suddenly held my small hand with the hair dryer. The action is very gentle. I turned around and saw that it was Motin, who wanted to blow dry my hair for me. At this time, I only feel very happy, and Motin's action is very gentle, but also want to take care of the same. Motin looked at my appearance. The heart laughs, this girl. Just help her blowing hair. So happy. After blowing her hair, Motin gently urged me, Mistress Mo, hurry to change clothes, lest she catch a cold. I'm slightly shy. I didn't expect him to be more than gentle but also so thoughtful. At this time, my phone kept ringing. No need to think about it, must be that scum can't help but want to find me. Motin was holding my mobile phone at this time. A face of playful asked me, how do you want me to answer it? Immediately after he said, although I do not like you and other men involved, but it is not the time to pick it up. As soon as the phone was connected, a man's hissing came from the phone. Tanin, where are you now? I'll send someone to pick you up. Do you know what your agent has done? Thanks to your agent, our company is in big trouble. I pretended to be dumbfounded. I'm hiding in a remote place, so I can't receive any news. And Yufan was a bit helpless. You come back first. I'll arrange a press conference for you. You explain it clearly to everyone. After hanging up the phone, I laughed coldly and want to pull me out of the back over. Still think I'm so stupid. At this time, Motin a hand will take the phone over. Your mobile phone? I have saved the number. Something at any time to find me. Remember, don't let yourself be aggrieved. I am very grateful to look at him. This man is really too good. Thank you, Motin. Suddenly Motin wrapped an arm around my waist. You know what to call me. Call out. Otherwise I won't let you go. I was slightly dumbfounded. This is really outside the legend of the high cold overbearing president. Well, how is this like a child? Looking at Motin closer and closer. I am very shy, do not know how to do good. No choice but to whisper called husband. And Motin looked at my shy look, a snort of laughter. Buttered this husband. He actually satisfied nodded his head. At this time, Motin touched my head, very spoiled. Quickly go to change clothes. I send you to TAE Entertainment. Sitting in the car, I was in a trance. I was obviously about to register with my fiancé, but I ended up marrying a stranger. What's even more unbelievable is that the object of the marriage is actually a domineering, high-cool president, which is really surprising. Before getting off the bus, Motin tenderly wrapped his arm around my shoulder. Remember, you promised me to keep a distance from other men. Looking at Motin's appearance, the corner of my mouth raised a happy smile. In addition to you, I will not have other men. I came to the company downstairs. I did not expect the paparazzo, actually, because I walked for others and guarded here. I had no choice but to rush to the staff special room. I had no choice but to rush to the staff special channel. After all, the general public here do not know, will not be guarded. The staff saw me and spit out shamelessness to make themselves red. Instead of other people walk the show and also let the news on the internet to increase heat. When I heard these words, I just laughed and walked forward in style. All these things will come out in the future. I came to the office, only to see that scumbag stood by the window. His expression was grave and it looked like things were quite difficult. When he heard me come in, he hurriedly looked back, as if he had seen a life-saving straw. At this time, I was sitting on the sofa calmly. The man asked me angrily, "Ten name, you really don't know about Sister Long?" Seeing that I said I didn't know, Han Yufan slammed the information on the table with force. "I think you're doing this on purpose. I just don't believe that without your authorization, how would Sister Long, a small agent, dare to break the news?" I tried to suppress the anger in my heart. "Yufan, we're almost married. Why would I do such a wrong thing to you?" "Who knows?" And Yufan did not listen to me at all and grabbed my wrist hard. "Why do you want to show your legs? Don't you know? This is the biggest difference between you two. I understand that now is not the time to turn the other cheek. Is not the white lotus flower? Who will not pretend?" I said in a delicate and weak voice, "Yufan, I am your fiancé, and you are even looking towards her instead of me." The scum of the moment even more angry. "I asked your Rose assistant yesterday. She said that this is all your own initiative." I was in tears. "Do you remember yesterday was supposed to be our wedding day, but you didn't come for her?" And Yufan didn't even listen to what I said and continued to say anyway. "The bad consequences have now been caused, and the jewelry company has sued us in court for breach of contract. And thanks to your agent, now the outside world for Tia's voice is getting louder and louder. The consequences of this you to bear." I shook off his hand. "Just because I want to marry you, do I deserve to be a victim?" And Yufan said with a cold face and an icy tone, "I don't care if you recognize. It's your responsibility." My heart a burst of disappointment. This person now even the slightest disguise do not do it. Really think of me as a fool. Thinking back to all these years, I cannot help but curse myself. Really stupid to recognize the appearance of this gum. And Yufan looked at my appearance, probably afraid that I do not listen to the heart hastily think of countermeasures. Just see Han Yufan embraced me and said, "Tang-ning, I am also anxious. And only this time, when we get married, I will double your good." I heard his words, was almost disgusted to vomit. He did not think he was weak. For the sake of my plan, there is no way I can only agree to it. I compromise to admit that it is my own height. But this is the last time. Listening to me promise down. And Yufan immediately smiled with joy. "I promise there will not be a next time. Baby, agreed to you." That scum is still thinking inside. "Stupid woman, next time you are not the same as fooled. When you get married, you will still be at my mercy." In the washroom, I called my agent, Sister Long, and told her that I was going to anonymously release the intimate photos of Han Yufan and Mo Yuro after my own public apology. After coming out of the washroom, I smiled to hide the impulse inside. After all, it's not time yet. I can only wait a little longer. And Yufan said we hadn't eaten together for a long time, so I made a reservation at a nearby Western restaurant to take you to a big meal. In just a few minutes, Han Yufan and I drove to the nearby Rosebud Western restaurant. Unexpectedly, the two of us just arrived at the door, but was just passing by the Mo Tin Sol. In the restaurant, Han Yufan ordered me a sirloin steak and said it was my favorite. I just feel a little funny. We have been together for 5 years, but he doesn't even remember my favorite. It's really a mockery. Looking at my cold expression, Han Yufan hurriedly asked, "What's wrong? Don't you like it?" I do not know how to speak at this time. Do not know where I should start to question him. Is really too angry? At this moment, the waiter even brought up the filet mignon. "Miss Tan, today there is your favorite filet mignon. On behalf of the Rosebud Western Restaurant, I wish you a happy wedding." At this moment, Han Yufan looked embarrassed and asked me stubbornly, "Have your taste changed?" I ignored him and told the waiter to correct me. "We're not married, but it's still very much you guys. You really have the heart to hear me say it once and remember it." The waiter didn't explain anything, just smiled and said this is what we should do. "Enjoy your meal." At this time, Han Yufan was simply embarrassed. His girlfriend for 5 years. He actually do not know what she likes. And Yufan also wanted to explain, "Don't worry, next time I will remember what my wife likes to eat. I do not want to take care of him," just said faintly, quickly eat a moment but also on the draft. At this time, my mobile phone suddenly came to the text message. "Look at the note is Mo Tin sent to me.